Hey everyone, my name is John. Today I want to talk about Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command. It's a CD set series, and I listened to it a few years ago. It was introduced by my own brother, and I started listening to it. I was like, man, this guy's making a lot of sense. So I started to apply all the lessons within, and for the last couple of years, I improved a lot in my personal health and also finances. The lessons are definitely working. I want you guys to pay attention to what I have to share today. Now, most people, they overlook a lot of these simple lessons, small little intricate components to each one of these lessons. I highly recommend you guys to really take take the opportunity to get the program. You can actually get it for free. I don't know how long it's going to stay up like this. There is a link in my descriptions, and you want to be using the link in my descriptions and use the code. I want to give you guys a very quick overview on what this is about. Now, if you are interested in manifesting desires, your dreams, or different goals that you may have, you want to pay attention to this. And if you are interested in goal setting, if you're interested in, hey, I actually want to plan out my future, have a future that I look forward to, you want to pay attention to this. And as I'm explaining these different lessons, you want to take some notes, but also just really think it through, because it took me many years. I started listening to this a few years ago, at least 3 years ago. I started listening to this program, and I still continue to listen to it, because every single time I listen to this program, I learn something new. The very first lesson I want you guys to learn is, who do you listen to? Who do you listen to? You have so many people that are just offering free advice online, but who are you listening to? Now, according to Kevin, you have to listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. So there are two things, right? You need to listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Many people are listening to all the wrong people. They're not getting the right advice to improve any facet of their life. For example, let's just say if you want to improve on your own personal health. If you want to improve your own personal health, you best believe you better find somebody who is healthy. It makes a lot of sense, right? But are most people doing that? Not necessarily. Not everyone is making the effort. They just say that, well, this person, he's a personal trainer, he has a certificate, right? He is reputable. But when you go to the gym and see this guy, he is very extremely out of shape. It doesn't make any sense for me to hire a personal trainer who is out of shape. But many people do this on the daily. They're like, well, this is somebody that recommended me, and they're just getting started. If you want to be a personal trainer, if you want to help with other people's health, you want to be in excellent health yourself, in excellent shape yourself. Another mistake that people make is that, well, if I'm having different health problems, the best thing for me to do is go to the doctor. The best thing for me to do is listen to people that have been to medical schools, different things like that. Well, I've been on this health journey for quite some time, and my current conclusion is that that's definitely not the thing to do. Maybe for acute injuries, something you may consider, because you can't really fix that yourself. You get into a motorcycle accident, you get into some type of a trauma, acute situation, you need the EMT. You need paramedics that can come through for you, go to the doctor, they can do some surgeries on you, put you back together. But most people, they're not going to the hospital because they're not suffering from acute injuries. They're in the hospital because they're suffering from chronic diseases. Many of your doctors are suffering from chronic diseases now, and they can't even fix themselves. So who do you listen to? It's incredibly important. This person may not have been to medical school, okay, but maybe they're a naturopathic doctor, maybe they are a practitioner in the health space, and they are vibrantly healthy. They're vibrantly healthy in their internal organs, their blood test is showing up great. They don't have any high blood pressure. They're eating the right foods appropriate for a body type. maybe that's somebody you should be listening to. Because these doctors, they can't figure it out. Just give you guys a quick story. Just 2 weeks ago, I was at the hospital. Somebody ended up at the ER, so I went. Now, while I was at the ER, I started observing all the patients that were there in the ICU, but I also observed the doctors who were there. Listen, many of these doctors, they are not in shape. They don't even look healthy. They hate their jobs. They don't even want to be there. They're just going there daily, day in, day out, saying the same things, asking the same questions. They're prescribing these medications, kind of stabilize you, because when in the ER, they're trying to stabilize you, right? But these doctors are not healthy. So the very first lesson is, who are you listening to? Really, really pay attention to this, because very likely you're listening to the wrong people. You're not listening to people who have the results where you want to be. Okay, so there are two components to this. Listen to people who have been where you are. So maybe previously before, let's just say if you want to improve on your finances, you want to listen to people that started with nothing. But from nothing, they turn themselves into something. When it comes to your health, you need to listen to people who have been where you are. Because everyone, your situation is a little bit different regarding your health. You say, I have problems over here, I have problems over there. And you want to listen to people who have overcame those set of problems and they're permanently fixed. That's what you're looking for. They're not just taking some medications to suppress the symptoms, because that's what they offer in the medical industrial complex. What they have to offer are just a whole bunch of drugs. For example, corticosteroids, right? And what that does is suppresses your immune response. Are you getting really to the root of the problem and resolving your problem, resolving your health issue? You're not. So across the board, okay, who do you listen to? Really observe. What kind of books are you reading? Okay, do these authors actually have the results that you want? You start to question, there's so many books that are being printed, that are being launched every single year, but are they even worth reading? You want to spend time and really leverage your time wisely. So who do you listen to with the very first lesson? You can go very, very deep into this. Every last one of these lessons, you can go very, very deep. The whole CD set is over 14 hours of content. I'm just giving you the broad strokes, okay? I'm gonna reposition my camera a little bit. Over here, I'm gonna go into my settings over here, pop it over here, okay? So I really look forward to anybody that wants to show up on this call. It'll be very helpful. Kind of go back and forth with y'all and kind of explore these topics together. All right, so who do you listen to is the very first lesson. And you guys can write this down. It's like, okay, I want to improve in the areas of my health, areas of my finances, because most people, they need these things. And am I listening to the right people? And that's the very first thing you want to pay attention to. The second lesson that he teaches is called the teachability index. The teachability index. Now, a lot of people overlook this as well. The first component to the teachability index is, what is your willingness to learn? Okay, what is your willingness to learn? Many people think that I'm very, very teachable. Well, how do you measure that? How do you quantify your willingness to learn? Are you setting aside your time, setting aside your favorite activities? Maybe you love to watch TV series. Maybe you like to binge watch, Korean TV series, dramas, whatever. And you're willing to set that aside, those hours aside, and actually learn something that could uplift your current state of being. You set it aside and you're listening to audio programs, you're going to conferences, you are reading books that could really benefit you. That's the teachability index. What is your willingness to learn? You have blocks of time. Everyone has 24 hours. And you're willing to set aside your entertainment time. You're going to turn off that TV, unplug your favorite activities. You cancel your memberships to Apple TV. You're canceling your Netflix for a whole season, maybe for a couple of months at a time. That's how you know if you have that willingness to learn. The next part is, what is your willingness to accept change? Most people, they are not at this stage. Some people, they have all the books. They have all the personal development books. They have different books on finances. They have the different books on physical health, naturopathic remedies. Maybe they have a lot of herbal books. What is your willingness to accept change? After you learn all information, are you actually applying that information into your daily life? That's how you know if you have that willingness to accept change. It's not enough just to learn. Many people think that it's enough to be in an environment. They go to the conferences, conference warriors, where they have stacks of books in their library, just sitting there. Maybe they go through them every once in a while. Okay, so they have that information in their mind, but their life is not changing because they're not willing to put in the work to say, hey, I'm actually going to apply this into my daily life. Whether that is for your finances, whether that is for your health, your relationships, all that stuff matters. Okay, so you can give yourself a score. What is my willingness to learn on a scale of 1 to 10, right? And you can give yourself an honest assessment. And what is your willingness to accept change on a scale of 1 to 10? Give yourself an honest assessment, right? And you want to be multiplying these numbers together. Is it a 10 out of 10? What is your willingness to learn? Is it a 10 out of 10? Your willingness to accept change? If you're actually applying the information that you just learned. If you're a 10 out of 10 on both, you want to be multiplying these numbers together and you get 100, okay? Your life will change if you have that willingness to learn and you have that willingness to accept change, because you're taking these action steps on a daily basis to improve your life. Most people, they do not do that. That's why their life is not changing. After going through conference after conference, reading books after books, maybe they got audibles, they got hundreds of books in their audibles, but their life ain't changing. Their health is not changing. Their finances ain't changing. Why? They're missing this part right here. They haven't really given themselves an honest assessment on their own teachability index. The next lesson that Kevin teaches is called the training balance scale. So imagine you have a scale, okay? On one side of the scale, you have how you think, how you feel, your why, okay? What are your dreams, your goals, attitudes, your mental processes, your vibration, your internal motivation, okay? So that's one side of the scale, okay? On the other side of the scale, you have the how actions, the action steps, the specific techniques. What are the strategies? Okay, what are the plans? What are the activities? The physical actions. Okay. Now, most people, they've been taught the reason why you aren't where you are in your life right now or where you want to be is because you're missing the action steps. You're missing the how. So focus all your attention on the how, okay? Well, according to the CD set, that is actually a complete misdirection. They want you to send you on a whole bunch of detours. In the world of marketing, okay, in the world of personal development, there are many, many detours because they're trying to maximize their lifetime customer value. And the way that they do that is take you on a whole bunch of detours. So you think that it's because I did not attend this one seminar. It's always that one seminar I didn't attend or that one conference, that next book, okay, because I don't know the action steps. So you're very stressed out about the how. When you do that, it is a vibration of lack. You constantly focus on there's always something that is missing. Well, the market will always tell you that you're not enough. That always something that you're missing. So they offer you more products and services to fill that void. Now, according to Kevin Trudeau's your wish is your command. The training balance scale, you want to focus more on how you think and how you feel. You're focusing on how do you feel. Even in this moment right now, how do you feel? What is your why? Your dreams, goals, attitudes, your mental processes. What is your vibration right now? That should command more of your attention instead of you're worried about the lack. You're worried about the how, okay? How you're not enough. Now, there are so many components to this. I can't just explain everything in a short video like this because the whole CD set is over 14 hours of content. And you want to be listening to the CD set. It is so powerful if you really pay attention to it and apply it into your daily life. Okay, I just want to give you the broad strokes today. You want to be using the link in my descriptions, and there's also a coupon code that's going to save you a lot of money, which I'll discuss in a little bit. So that is the training balance scale I want you guys to pay attention to. Next, I want to talk about the 4 steps to learning. All right, the first step is unconscious competence. You don't even know what you don't know, right? The next step would be conscious incompetence. Now you start to realize there are a lot of things that you are not aware of in the first place, right? Conscious incompetence. And over time, you become conscious competent in the things that you're working on. You finally begin to have some confidence. You know that you know something. Next, you have something called unconscious competence. You know something, you know how to apply it, and success is automatic. Now, you may see this, maybe this could be a very crude example. You're working with somebody or you're watching some YouTuber going around the world and they're looking at these restaurant owners that have been working there for 20, 25, 30, 45 years. And every single day, they have the same routine. How do they get their restaurant up and ready? Some of them have to wake up 4, 5, or even earlier in the mornings to get everything prepped up so they can open up that noon. It's a lot of work. But they've been doing it for 20, 25 years. All their actions, it is muscle memory. It is unconscious competence. They don't have to even think about how they're going to prepare maybe fresh noodles, okay? They just know. They know how to get that those ingredients to be mixed in the right ratio, put it through the machine, depending on what they're working with, right? Maybe they're working with bread, how much to put in each of these ingredients. Everything is measured out perfectly. They know how to have that winning recipe. This is what the customer wants. Working at that restaurant 20, 25, 30 years, they develop unconscious competence in these key set of skills. Now, every last one of us, we are unconsciously competent at certain things, okay? But if you want to improve your life, you can't be doing the same set of action steps. You need to focus on, all right, I'm not where I want to be, so that I cannot use the same type of action steps. I need to change them up, right? I need to focus on a different set of action steps. Maybe I need to learn a new skill set. After I learn this new skill set, before I didn't even know about this. This could be video editing. This could be editing a photo. This could be even working using a new computer. Maybe or previously you work with Windows computers and now you're working with a Mac. Well, there is a transition period where there's so many things. The keypad or how everything is structured is a little bit different. And over time, you're working with it on a daily basis and you just get better and better from unconscious incompetence. I'm still learning how to use my MacBook computer. There's so many new tools that I can learn how to use. So every single day, I'm still learning. But the main core ones, the main core set of skill sets is very, very unconscious competent, right? Because I'm very, very solid on that. but that doesn't mean there isn't room for me to grow. Okay? Here's the kicker. Many of you, you're unconsciously competent at failure. You're unconsciously competent at all your bad behaviors. You learn them through a series of years. Maybe it could be, well, you just have bad habits when it comes to your time management. You always waste your time. You don't really, you keep on consuming. You don't really produce. You may have a wonderful laptop, you have a wonderful computer, and you have amazing cell phones, but you don't do anything with it but to just consume content, or you're just watching TV shows, wasting your time. So you're unconsciously competent at failure. Redirecting that, you need to set a new set of patterns. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be an uphill battle initially. You're like, this is a lot of work, but over time, it's just kind of like riding a bike. Maybe this is the first thing. When you first start riding a bike, people have to explain to you, well, how do you position the bike, right? How do you position the paddles? And maybe you start working with a tricycle to begin. But over time, you get better and better at it, okay? This muscle memory behind it. And over time, you can take off those training wheels and you're starting to balance, right? Success is like that as well. Most people have been trained to think in a negative way, to take negative actions that work against us. We've been trained to self-sabotage. You start to learn more about yourself, to think about your self-sabotaging behaviors and how you can turn all those things around over time. But recognizing them in the first place is important. Okay, I want you guys to begin to learn that you can recognize the self-sabotaging behaviors. So I want to share with you what you guys can do. So I want to go to my stream real quick. Okay, so my live streams. Yeah, there's a little bit of background noise. No worries. Yeah, there's foosball right behind me. So people are watching foosball. But check this out. Kevin is giving out a very, very unique offer right now. Yeah, what you guys want to do, you guys can go to the bottom. Yeah, there's foosball actually not behind me. All you have to do, watching foosball, you can go to the description. Check this out. You go to the description. Kevin is giving out a very, very unique right here. Offer right now. And it's going to, what you guys want to do is you guys can go to the bottom. Yeah, there's foosball. Actually, not behind me. All you have to do, this is what you do. You can go to the description. Check this out. You go to the description. Kevin is giving out a very, very unique offer right now. And it's going to, what you guys want to do, you want to be similar this code. There's foosball. Actually, not behind me. All you have to do, this is what you do. You can go to the description. Check this out. You go to the description. They're going to make you pay $5 now. But if you use this coupon code, and it's going to, what you guys want to do, you want to be similar this code. There's foosball. Actually, not behind me. All you have to do, this is what you do. You can go to the description. Check this out. You go to the description. But if you use this coupon code, what you guys want to do, you want to be this code. There's foosball. Actually, not behind me. All you have to do, this is what you can continue to do. Check one out. You go to the description. But if you use this coupon code, what you guys want to do, you want to be this code. There's foosball. All you have to do, this is what you can continue to do. Check one out. You go to the description. But if you use this coupon code, what you guys want to do, you want to be this code. There's foosball. All you have to do, this is what you can continue to do. Check one out. You go to the description. But if you use this coupon code, what you guys want to do, you want to be this code. guarantee you, you're going to get more of it by law. That's what happens. So we need to just think about, all right, what do I need to do to really focus on my own internal state of being, my internal emotions? So situations come, I can remain calm and be like, hey, this is what's happening right now, and that's perfectly fine. I can continue to focus on my goals, my dreams, my desires. And I want to just share this great program with you. I think you guys know what to do to get this program for free. So let's go over it real quick. So this is the Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command. And you want to be using this link in my descriptions right here. And you just want to click on it. All right. And over here, you want to be clicking on Buy Now. And you can go through this whole sales page if you like.
You're going to score on yourself.
You guys want to read through this whole sales page if you like.
There's usually one goalie.
But there are a lot of Buy Now buttons. You can click on Buy Now. After you click on Buy Now, there's a code. I want you just to copy and paste. It's YWIYC. That is the code. You want to be putting the coupon code right here in this box and hit apply.
Oh my God.
So let me just try that again.
Here it comes. Knock it in there.
Oh, I already put it over here. So over here. I'm able to redeem.
Easiest goal ever.
Maybe there was a cookie that was there.
That's mine. Okay.
Oh, I know why. So you don't want to copy the one with the bolded letters. That's not going to work. You just want to type in YWIYC with your keyboard. The reason why I had it in bold is because so you guys can see it clearly. But don't copy and paste this because it's not going to work. You just want to type it in. YWIYC. The very first initial, your wish is your command. YWIYC. So I just want to stay on this call for a couple more minutes. For any of you might want to jump on the call. Maybe you have questions about Kevin Trudeau's program. Today we went over a lot of information, had a very brief introduction. We talked about who do you listen to, teachability index, training balance scale, 4 steps. Okay, who do you listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Next, teachability index. What is your willingness to learn? What is your willingness to accept change? Training balance scale, right? What is your thinking process right now? How do you think? How do you feel? Okay, and what is your why? What is your dreams, goals, attitudes right now? Even when things are not going your way. This is a lifelong lesson. You may take just a few minutes to learn these lessons, but it's going to take a lifetime to master. I'm still learning. I'm still applying. I'm still learning a deeper layer, deeper level. And this is a moment-to-moment situation, right? Things is not going my way, but how do I maintain my emotional well-being right now? Can I remain calm and composed, even when there is a setback, even when there are unexpected things taking place? Next part is the action steps. I'm not saying the action steps aren't important, they are, but they're not as important as you think, okay? They're not as important as you think. And what are the 4 steps to learning? Number 1, unconscious incompetence. Next is conscious incompetence. Next is conscious competence. And finally, you have unconscious competence. So thanks so much for watching this video. And leave a comment below